Oh, whoops. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, isn't it? How are we doing? I want to know. And if you don't want to tell me, totally fine. Keep your secrets. But I do so love it when you share with me. I have so much and yet so little to catch you guys up on. But here we go. Hey, Toasty Clipper. Yeah, let's start there. Who do we got? Hi, Herb. Thank you for the check in. Billy. Thank you for the check in. Toasty Clipper, thank you for the check in. Hi, Bull. Thank you for the check in. I am doing well. Okay, so let's chat. The last time I was here was last Wednesday. So Thursday, ain't nothing happened. The weather was pretty poopy last week. But Friday, I did go out. I went out and I danced at the honky tonk. I had a really fun time. Am I sick? No, do I sound sick? Wait, do I sound different? I feel okay. Um, yeah, so Friday I went out and danced and I had a lot of fun. And then Saturday I had a chill night, just hung out with some friends and relaxed, didn't do much. It's just I said something and you actually replied, ah, full. No, I resent that. Who are you, Paul? On the 18th, I was just chilling, hanging out with friends and just relaxing. And then Sunday, you're not nobody. That's not true. Um, so Sunday, I went out to the bars to go watch the World Cup. I went to a sports bar and I had Dos Equis. So that started probably right around like 1 o'clock, maybe, because we got there before my friends and I got there before the game, um, or maybe it was more like 1:30. We were gonna go to. Did I root for the losing team again? I was rooting for Argentina, although after seeing how they've been acting, I'm kind of glad they lost. But yeah. So I went. I had been watching the World Cup at work. My coworkers are all Mexican, so they always put on the Telemundo, and I have been watching the game in Spanish. And that size of beer that you guys saw in the picture is the size of beer that I had been consuming pretty much the majority of the day. So I would have a Dos Equis with a few limes, and I'm not usually much of a beer drinker. So I guess I underestimated their potency, if you will. I had about four of those, I think, during the course of the game. And then after that, we were having such a fun time that we went to a different bar that was playing live music, and I had a Modelo. Your Discord message felt a little slooshed. Well, I was panicking because I was trying to get the message out there, but it wouldn't send. But yes, I would say it was a little slooshed, if you will. But I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. But I ended up having like a Modelo, and then I had like half of a whiskey sour, and then I was like, wow, like day drinking is not something that you usually do, Toast. But man, are you having a fun time. So it was a really good time, even though it was really hot outside. I like most of the bars we went to were outside. It was just a really good time, and I definitely sure as hell don't drink on a Sunday. I had a great time. When I got home, I promptly went to sleep after I was dropped off. And well, no, that's a lie. I did my usual routine: brushed my teeth, washed my face, put my uh, Invisalign retainer in, and then I went to bed. And it was great. And then when I woke up for work the next day, I was like, wow, you feel exhausted, but you feel alive. So I went to work on Monday. Dos Equis is pretty good, actually. I prefer Heineken, though. They call them cervezas. So I guess I'm into that kind of beer. I still prefer like fruity tasting stuff, but I can have them with limes and they're a little cheaper. So maybe I'll convert. I don't know. I don't even want to know what the caloric intake of those were. Because like each of those cups was like 2 beers, I guess. But it don't really matter. I had a great time. Loved it. So much fun watching the World Cup. It really wasn't the most exciting game. It was only exciting till at like the very end. Whatever the Argentinian goalie is getting paid, they need to double it because that man was putting in work. And honestly, Spain deserved the win, truthfully, because they had like 20 shots or 12 attempts at the goal where Argentina only had one. So sounds like I had fun. I did, and listening to the music after was so great. So the band was like, "Oh, we're gonna play some music. Like we're taking requests," so people would shout out their requests, and then they were like, "Okay, we're gonna do some George Strait," and they're like, "What should we play?" And I was like, "The Chair, play the Chair," because I love that George Strait song, and I don't know, I guess that's just what I wanted to hear. So they played it, and I was like, "Oh my god, yes!" Like I love this song. So I had a really fun time, and I had a really cute dress on, so that was fun. But all in all, a great Sunday. Free bird, yeah. That ain't no George Strait song. um, but then Monday I went to work and then I went to Pole. I didn't even watch House of Dragons Sunday night because I went to sleep after a day of day drinking. But yeah, you have no clue who George Strait is? He's a country artist. Look him up. Monday I went to Pole and it was a really good time. And then when I got home, I watched House of Dragons because I didn't watch it on Sunday. And I chilled. Today I went to work, went to the gym afterward, and did back and, well, pretty much just all back actually is really all I did today. I did like the row, the pull down, the one where you go like this, like you lean back, and then I did abs at the very end, some core. And that was my gym day. And then I ate dinner. I had some McDonald's. I had some McDonald's because that's what I really wanted. I know that completely cancels out the gym thing, but I've been doing really good. But the McDonald's just sounded great. Headbang. Yeah, the headbang. No, you like lay down in it and you lean back. And hi, PSO Addict, welcome in. It has been eventful, but also not eventful. Like Sunday was the most exciting thing. And it really was a chill day, except for the fact that I day drank. So I don't think I'm gonna make that a thing in my life, but I still enjoyed it. Come August, if you've been here for a couple years now. Hi, Sudku. Thank you for the resub. Happy 11 minutes. Oh my god. Or 11 minutes. 11 months. Oh my god. We're almost at our 1 year anniversary. How are you? I'm so glad you are here, and you are so welcome in my den, Soon-kun. Calories in, calories out. As long as you stay within your maintenance calories, you're all good. I am. I'm actually down 2 pounds, truthfully, but so that's cool. But yeah, no. What was I gonna say? Shoot, I done forgot. You're exhausted. Oh no, I hope you get some sleep. Yeah, I'm just doing well. The Dos Equis with lime was pretty cool, guys. I think if I was looking for like budget drinking, maybe that's what I'll have. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Great Sunday. Great weekend, and I'm off to a good week so far. The gym felt good. So, oh my god, I never even drank my protein shake. It's sitting in the fridge right now. I'll get it. I'll get it after. I went up 2 pounds because I stress ate all week. Oh no, and they are 130 each. A Dos Equis? Well, each thing that I had that I consumed was like 2 beers each. So I don't even want to think about that. I don't want to think about that. Anyways, guys. Yeah, shh. We don't talk about that. Let me live in denial. So because I wasn't here on Sunday, I've decided I would be here today and I would read to you guys. So I hope that's okay. I hope we're about it. Oh, I also played Mecha Chameleon over the weekend, so that was nice too. I did that like honestly, I can't even remember, but I did that too. Okay, let's go ahead. Let me get the virtual cottage set up. Work has been fine Same-ish, different day. Can't really complain. I can't really leave. Today I was so desperado for freedom that I looked up remote cruise corporate careers to see if any cruise line out there like needs like a remote person for something that I would want to do. I just want to go to the beach. I just want to get away. Every time, so far, like here lately, every time I think of how much time I spend at work, I get unusually angry. Right? Like, ugh, just breaks my heart. Just move to the beach. Aha! I wish. I like money. I like money. Although I will say, I was looking at beachfront property today. Or not beachfront property, just like beach condos that are close. But alas, there are some dreams that can never be. I would be too far away from my parents, and also, like, I don't know. I like where my friends are. I like my friends. I like my life where I'm at. My hair tinsel, on a side note, has been falling out. I don't even think the original strand is in. I've been reapplying and putting it back in, but it always finds its way out. So I'm gonna have to figure out a different method because I really don't want to pay someone to do it. And that is the tea. You're telling me today is day 18 of working in a row for me. Oh no, you need a vacation. You need a vacation. You need a cruise is what you need. Okay, so we're gonna go. You're rocking the bald spot. Hair tinsel. Look it up. Okay, so we have been working on reading The Deepest Fake by Daniel Kalla. We are currently on chapter 31. I'm just gonna go through it real quick. Liam Hirsch, CEO, thought he had ALS, doesn't have ALS. CEO of an AI company, thinks it could be AI working, or perhaps corporate backstabbing, because there's been some embezzling in his company. However, that money's been returned to his company, so he's not really sure why the money was taken, put back, and why his corporate VP financial lady didn't catch it. He's not really sure who he thinks did it, but he's been trying to narrow it down by working with this PI who also investigated his wife, who he found out was cheating on him, but they've decided they're going to stay together and try to make it work. He doesn't have ALS. He doesn't know what it is that's causing him to feel like complete and utter garbage. They suspect it could be poisoning. He's using burner phones. He does not trust technology, which is funny because, you know, he works for an AI company, teehee. And that is the gist of where we're at. I personally believe it could be the wife in cahoots with one of his corporate VPs, but I'm not sure which one. I think that's enough, right? Do I really need to say anything more? AI CEO is paranoid. Everyone or anyone could be killing him, including his AI. Yeah, that's good. I was supposed to take PTO tomorrow, but your boss denied your PTO? Your boss denied your PTO. Man. Oh, yerp. I wish you could find another job. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of everything that's happening. Let me go ahead and look at the last chapter and see if it's worth me brushing on again. Oh yes, the company that he found was called EANC. That was the EANC Consulting. So I guess I will go ahead and read this last little bit from chapter 30 just so you guys can see what chapter 31 is probably going to lead into. As always, I'll read 2 chapters and then we'll talk. Read another 2 chapters and we'll talk. And then 2 more chapters and we'll be done. And I am considering doing another stream tomorrow. So there you go. And then you'll for sure see me next Sunday. And that is the tea. You may be kind of lurking though. No worries, Europe. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, here we go. Here's the end of chapter 30. We'll go here. Andrea opens her laptop and reviews her notes. The list of suspects isn't getting shorter. If anything, it's growing, especially with EANC Consulting added to the mix. She's had no luck identifying the principals behind the offshore company, which is registered in the British Virgin Islands. The owners are hidden behind a web of privacy laws designed to attract those who prize anonymity. Studying the list again, she notices that the first 2 letters of the company's name match Ellis's initials. Out of curiosity, she Googles his name along with EANC, but the results aren't relevant. On a whim, she tries his wife's name, Nina, and discovers that she used her maiden name, Cheston, during her model days. Andrea's pulse quickens. What are the odds that the company's initials match all 4 of theirs? She racks her brain, trying to recall a formula from a long ago statistics course. The numbers don't matter. It's too much to be coincidence. She digs deeper, searching for Nina Cheston in EANC, but nothing relevant comes up. Then she tries Nina Asher and EANC. Again, nothing. Finally, she drops a surname and searches simply for Nina's first name. Bingo. Among the search results, she finds a registration page for a Little League baseball team in Bellevue, where the Ashers live. On the contact page in bright, playful font is a note. If your little slugger is interested in playing, drop Nina a line at eanc1989@gmx.com. Boom. So if you don't know who Ellis is his chief of operations, I think was his name, or not COO actually. He's something else. He's the guy responsible for going out and garnering or getting more business for his company. So the reason he's investigating him, right, is because he's one of the VPs. And on top of that, or in the midst of that, he discovers that Ellis has a gambling addiction. So it makes sense that he would take from the company, right? Because he's got a gambling addiction. Maybe he has some debt. Who knows? But that is how the last chapter ended. So we're going to go ahead and dive into chapter 31. And yeah, I'll glance at chat every now and then, but I won't reply until I finish the 2 chapters. So here we go. Chapter 31. Liam stares at the grim chart on his laptop as the blender whirs in the background, the sound grating on his already frayed nerves. "I don't think that smoothie of yours is getting any smoother," he shouts over the noise. Celeste, still in her tennis outfit, turns off the blender with a playful grin. Someone's in a mood. He barely looks up. "Did you check the share price today?" "I try not to." She pours the greenish-brown mixture into a glass. "That's one approach," he sighs. Transcend is down 27% from its high 2 weeks ago. All because of that deepfake incident? And the leak about their story's launch, the bad press, all those doomsday predictions. Celeste takes a sip of her concoction and raises an eyebrow. "You sure you don't want one?" Liam shakes his head. He's never been able to stomach her smoothies. They always taste like dirt. Besides, he's not touching anything he hasn't bought or made himself. Every sip of water is from a sealed bottle he opens himself, and he scrutinizes every bite he eats. Not that he has eaten much of late. The idea that something from his own kitchen could have been poisoned briefly crosses his mind before he dismisses it. No, Celeste wouldn't. Or at the very least, she couldn't. "I'm on a strict smoothie-free cleanse," he says with a half-hearted grin. "Cute," she says, her tone casual, but her eyes studying him closely. "You still think the leak was sabotage?" He turns his laptop to show her the sharp drop in Transcend's stock price. "It sure as hell feels like it." Celeste tilts her head thoughtfully. "But what if they're right, Liam?" "Who? Saboteurs?" "No, the doomsday prophets. The people saying it's too dangerous." "They're wrong," he says, though even he can hear the hesitation in his voice. "But even if they weren't, their story, or something like it, is inevitable. If we don't do it, someone else will." "That's your justification? Beat them to the punch?" "It's reality, Celeste. You can't stop this kind of technology. All we can do is guide its development responsibly." "And you believe it's being handled responsibly?" He folds his arms again. "Yes. We've built safeguards. Confidentiality is airtight, and we've got limits on what users can upload. The app flags dangerous behavior. Violent or suicidal thoughts trigger interventions. There are fail-safes to block hate speech, misinformation." Celeste sets her glass down and crosses the room, her playful demeanor fading. "But how do you stop people from manipulating reality, like they did in New Hampshire?" That was his story, not their story. And it didn't alter reality, it altered perceptions. "Which is all that matters in the end," she sighs. "Nellie told me their story was better, even harder to separate fact from fiction." "Nellie told you about their story?" "At the Christmas party. To be more accurate, I asked her about it. All she said was that because their story is so much more sophisticated, it's that much more of a security threat. Even if Nellie turns out to be responsible for the leak, but he keeps the thought to himself. Celeste sits down beside him, her expression softening. Liam, I've always been your biggest fan. When I started working for you, I was blown away by the promise of what we were building. I believed AI could change the world for better, curing diseases, ending hunger. And now, her eyes drop. Now I'm not so sure. Because of the deepfakes? Forget about the tech falling into the wrong hands. Think about the psychological impact it has on people, even when used the way it's meant to be. That's the whole point, Cell. It's supposed to comfort users, let them reconnect with those they've lost, ease the pain. What if it does the opposite? His curiosity piqued. Liam leans in. What are you talking about? Have you spent much time with the app? Sure. I've tested it. Did you use your dad as a subject? Liam shakes his head. No, myself. Her eyes widen. You spoke to yourself? I was curious. What did it say? Liam thinks back to his avatar's unsettling insights about Celeste. It was a little glitchy. It didn't know quite how to handle talking to its real-life counterpart. She shakes her head. Glitchy wasn't my experience. When you spoke to Ella, he asks, referring to her childhood best friend, you never really said much about how it went. It was intense. Can you be more specific? Her avatar was so realistic, Liam. It was like I was sitting across from Ella again. For a while, I forgot I wasn't actually talking to the real her. That's how it's supposed to work. Celeste lowers her head. Ella told me how much she wished she'd met Ava and Cole, how she would have loved to have her own kids who could have grown up with ours. Liam lays a hand on hers, his touch gentle. Didn't you appreciate reconnecting with her after all these years? I suppose, her eyes mist over. Until... Sensing she needs time, he caresses her fingers and waits. Until I asked the avatar about the night Ella died. Oh. Ella, the avatar, told me she left the party early and walked home. She never even saw the SUV coming until the drunken asshole behind the wheel swerved onto the sidewalk and pinned her into the side of a building. She said it happened so quickly, she didn't feel a thing. Celeste snorts bitterly. I guess the AI would have inferred that from the news accounts. It would have, yeah. This is new territory for them. Celeste sometimes reminisces about Ella, who was like a sister to her. Some of the stories, like the time Ella's chocolate lab accidentally ripped Celeste's bikini top off her in the middle of a 10th grade pool party, are legendary. But she'd never spoken of the night Ella was killed. The app would have known from media reports that Ella was alone when she died, Celeste says quietly. But it still rocked me when the avatar asked me why I wasn't with her. What did you tell it? What could I say? She swallows. I should have been with Ella. If I had, maybe the driver would have seen us both. Or one of us would have spotted him. Or... Her voice trembles. Truth is, if I'd been with her, she probably wouldn't have left the party when she did. Cell, you can't. I stayed behind because I wanted to be with Tommy. He frowns. Tommy? A guy we both had a crush on. Her more than me. Celeste looks down, embarrassed. I drank too much. Tommy and I ended up going upstairs together. I don't know if Ella saw us go, but she must have left soon after. And I've always wondered. Her voice trails off, and Liam feels the gravity of her guilt. You can't blame yourself for that. But I do, Liam. And hearing it from her avatar made it worse. It made it real. Liam struggles to find the right words, so the app didn't know. It was just guessing. But it felt real. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Liam. People could relive their worst regrets, their deepest guilt, and they'll be doing it with a machine that doesn't understand boundaries. She stops to swallow again. Months later, I think about that session. The way she asked me, it still guts me. He only squeezes her hand. Sorry. It's fine. She wipes her eyes quickly. I only meant it as an example. I get it. People are bound to have the occasional negative interactions with their story, but you can't blame the app. It's only doing what it's programmed to. What's wrong with you, Liam? She pulls her hand away from his, frustration coloring her voice. The whole point of their story is to allow you to communicate with people you've lost. Tell them things you didn't or couldn't in real life. But it's all fake. It's manipulation. This death bother of yours is dangerous. Liam is taken aback by her vehemence. Where's this coming from? I thought I'd come to terms with my guilt from that night, but now I'm not sure. What if others relive something like I did through the app? Especially if they're vulnerable or have mental health issues. Imagine the trauma it could inflict. How is it different from reliving it with a therapist? Therapists are trained for sensitive conversations. Her eyes search his, looking for understanding. How can a machine know when it's pushed someone too far? Before Liam can respond, his burner phone buzzes in his pocket. Turning away from Celeste, he pulls it out. Hi, can I call you back? I'm just in the middle of... This can't wait, Andrea says, her voice low, tense. What can't? EANC. What about it? It's Ellis's company. Chapter 32. Inside the living room, Liam opts for the overstuffed chair, leaving Andrea at the low couch. He remembers too well the struggles he had getting up from it last time. Andrea's worried glances don't go unnoticed, and while he appreciates her concern, it only heightens his self-consciousness. Every movement feels scrutinized, and he dreads the next stumble or fumble in front of her. I double-checked the books, Liam says, voice tight. The payments to Ellis's shell company, EANC, came back into Transcend's accounts as one payment, buried deep in the sales account. EANC wasn't even mentioned. Why? Andrea sits cross-legged on the couch, raising a brow. Why what? Why everything? Liam snaps, frustration boiling over. Why risk embezzling $100,000 just to pay it back in the next period? And why the hell did Ramona help him cover it up? Andrea shrugs slightly. Maybe they already knew you were onto them. Didn't you ask Sam to dig into the discrepancy? Good theory, but the timing's wrong. The money was repaid weeks before I even spotted the irregularity. Andrea bites her lip in thought. Maybe it was a test run. That's possible, I suppose. But why 2 payments totaling $100,000? Why not try a single payment of something smaller, less noticeable, maybe $5 or $10,000? Do you think Ramona and Ellis are in this together? How else do you explain it? With Ellis's gambling problem, I get why he needs cash, Andrea replies, eyes narrowing. But what's in it for her? It doesn't make sense, Liam says, shaking his head. She's too sharp for this. If she's involved, she wouldn't make it so easy to trace. She's a financial whiz. She'd know how to hide it better. Andrea frowns. Feels like desperation, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Liam shifts uncomfortably, recognizing the feeling all too well. And what about Ramona's wife, Jennifer, and that sabotage on the oil company? Maybe she shifted to activism against AI. Andrea shakes her head. Nothing on her social media points that way. But would she advertise it, given her wife's high-profile job at an AI firm like Transcend? Probably not, she concedes, meeting his gaze. Do you think the fraud is connected to the sabotage on their story? Or your poisoning? I don't know. The missing money is what triggered my suspicions. Could be coincidence, but it doesn't help me trust any of my execs. I'm getting a little paranoid myself these days, Andrea says with a dry smile. And then there's Rudy and Nellie. What the hell was he doing at her place? Andrea shakes her head. Wish I knew. Nobody would enjoy watching me fall more than him. Even if it meant poisoning you? Especially then, Liam mutters, his tone dark. You should have seen Rudy at his condo. That smug grin, talking about karma like it's his own personal weapon. He laughed off my offer, and it was generous. After losing 2 lawsuits, there's no way his finances are solid enough to just walk away from that kind of money. Unless he's got a better offer. Liam's burner phone dings with a new email alert. His stomach leaps into his chest when he sees it's from the lab in Vancouver. What is it? Andrea asks. My blood test results, Liam says, opening the email. He scrolls through the jargon, searching for something familiar. Lead level is low, normal. Mercury and manganese undetectable. Blood cholinesterase negative. Andrea leans in. What's the significance of that? Liam's heart sinks. It means I wasn't poisoned by any of the toxins Dr. Chow thought could be responsible. Andrea's eyes flash with a concern. Then what else could it be? I'm not sure, Liam says, forwarding the email to Dr. Chow. Frustration building. It's like I'm stuck on a treadmill, pushing harder and harder, but I'm still in the same place. She rests a hand gently on his arm. Oh, Liam. Maybe I'm just trying to make sense of the inevitable, he says quietly. The inevitable? That I really might be dying. Andrea's expression sharpens, her voice resolute. No. Someone's behind this, Liam. We both know it. And we're going to stop them. His phone buzzes again, jolting him. He almost drops it, fumbling to answer the call. Hello? Mr. Hirsch? It's Dr. Chow. I reviewed the blood tests you sent. They're negative for all the poisons you said could be involved. I didn't say they were the only possibilities. I said they were the most likely. Liam's heart skips a beat. You mean there could be others? Dr. Chow ignores the question. What's interesting are the other values. Your kidney and liver functions show low-grade damage. But I've never had problems with my kidneys or liver. Exactly. Tells me someone tampered with the original results. There's no other explanation for such significant discrepancies. So you believe me now? I'm less skeptical, yes. Then what's causing the liver and kidney damage? You said you don't drink or use any substances, correct? I barely drink at all, and I haven't touched any other drug in 20 plus years. Even infectious hepatitis wouldn't explain this kidney damage, Dr. Chow says, his voice steady. In someone healthy who doesn't drink, the most plausible cause is exposure to an external toxin. In other words, a poison? Yes, and while we've tested you for common ones that cause similar neurological symptoms, there are other, less well-known possibilities. Synthetic chemicals used in industrial exposure. He pauses. Or chemical warfare agents. Liam's mouth goes dry. Chemical warfare? Either way, Mr. Hirsch, I don't think you need a neurologist anymore. Who do I need? A toxicologist. A poison specialist? Yes. Someone who can run highly sophisticated tests on your blood and urine, looking for even the smallest traces of unusual toxins. Do you know someone like that? As a matter of fact, I do. That was chapter 31 and 32. Chemical warfare. When it says industrial exposure, that makes me think of the contractor. I am tripling down. I think Celeste is in on it. Like, hardcore, I really think the wife is the suspect. I don't know how Ellis is involved, but maybe he's involved, but for sure the wife. Her just now speaking up about her feelings on the... Yeah, but doing work in the house isn't industrial. Is it not considered industrial? Perhaps not, but... I don't know, Celeste. She's gotta be involved. Let me go back to the last chapter, though. So she's known her husband has been working on this app forever, right? So maybe that's why she sent him away to make sure he wasn't implicated. Nah, it's residential. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. That talk, I think it's crazy that Celeste has been sitting on these emotions, right? After using the app, and she hasn't said anything until now. Like, I'm telling you, it's those smoothies. I know, that's why she's like, hey, you sure you don't want one? And then the daughter was like, hey, Dad, just so you know, Mom left a smoothie for you. Like, the smoothies, guys, the smoothies. But on top of that, like, the way she feels about the app having not said anything, plus she was in cahoots with Nelly, like, talking about it, I just think that the wife is involved. I can't seem to let that go. That's kind of trippy about the app, though. Can you imagine, like, having a conversation with someone close to you that passed away or that you lost, and then they go and they say some out-of-pocket stuff like that, like, why weren't you there? Why didn't you help me? Like, man, that would mess with me, especially if it somehow can say it in their voice. Like, it doesn't really say... Well, it must have sounded like her, seeing as how, you know, seeing as how she's like, it felt like I was talking to my best friend. Like, that's horrific to me. It has to be the wife. I don't think it's just her. I think she's involved, though, but I don't know how. It said it takes on their voice. Yeah, so that's creepy, right? So creepy. But she has known that Liam was developing this app for a really long time. And I know he's like, either we do it or someone else will. Fine, let the blood be on someone else's hands. Why is it gotta be on ours? I don't know who would actually want an AI that does that. Yeah, I don't know. Not if it's gonna say out of pocket stuff like that. I have people who I would like to talk to again, even if it's not real. I do too, but not if it's gonna be like, why weren't you there, Toasty? Why didn't you do this? That would hurt. I think I told you guys I one time went to a medium to talk to my Nana. And it was a really cathartic experience for me, but it definitely had me like, I don't know. I wonder who else I can talk to. I haven't done it since. And I don't think I ever will. But it was therapeutic in a way. And we can talk about that another time, but really I don't know if I'd ever actually want that. I swear I've told that story, maybe not. Well, next time, remind me to tell you the story of the time I went to a medium. It was pretty crazy. She didn't like turn the lights off and shake or anything like that. Like, it was a very calm experience, and I left it feeling like what do you call it? I just left feeling, I felt good, but I felt sad, you know? So it was really cathartic. I mean, I believe in the spiritual and communication like that. Did she tell you how cool a chat you would have? No, she didn't say anything like that. But I meant I wouldn't want like an AI in place of someone. Oh, that's fair. With Celeste coming forward and talking about how she doesn't agree with this app, combined with what's going on with Nelly and her insistence on these smoothies, I do think Celeste is involved. I don't know how. I don't know when. I don't know how. But I do believe she's involved. Let's see. I'm still kind of 50-50 on if I think Ramona's involved. Like, maybe she didn't say anything because she was trying to do her friend a favor. I don't think she's necessarily involved, though. I don't know. It's hard to say. So, Ramona's wife, Jennifer, right? If you guys remember, she's good with drugs for whatever she used to do. And she's a hacker, right? So, I guess if you look at it that way, she could be involved. Though who knows, with how bad the modern loneliness problem is, I guess some people may want that. See, that's why I don't think something like AI should be in place. Do you know how many, I read this article about like how many young high school adolescents have virtual boyfriend, girlfriends, like fake AI partners. And they're straight up not talking to other people. They think this thing is real. In fact, there was a case where a guy, a little boy, he was like 13 or whatever, he thought he was with Daenerys and was messaging her, and he ended up ending his own existence, if you will, because he wanted to be with her so badly, he thought that was the only way. So I really think AI is cool, but I would say for the most part, I'm so anti-AI. Because it's so dangerous for stuff like that. Like, people can't handle it. You think they're all involved? You think it's like a multi-layered conspiracy. So do you think Rudy's involved? Rudy. You think Rudy's involved? His arch nemesis? I'm unsure of that. Giant conspiracy, a web of lies and deceit. There's been a lot of murder. I don't know what to think. Honestly, I think Rudy may be the only one not involved. Rudy and the kids, right? I don't think the kids are involved. I don't think they're involved at all. So, do we trust Dr. Chow? I think the doctor's okay. Okay, I drank some water. We chatted. The kids are unknowingly involved by asking their dads to drink the smoothies. No, the kids are innocent. The kids are all right. Let's go ahead and continue, guys. With chapter. What? How many chapters are in this again? Why do I always forget? I'm gonna close my eyes and squint so I don't accidentally read anything on the last page. There's 60 chapters and we're on chapter 33. So we are halfway through this book. I want it to start picking up momentum. I want something crazy to happen. I want someone to like pop out and be like, stab, you know, but anyways. Here we go. Okay, now here we go. Chapter 33. Andrea insisted on driving, and Liam, lost in the storm of new revelations, stares blankly out the window as they head south on I-5. Silence fills the car. Despite his relief that Dr. Chow now believes he's been poisoned, they are no closer to uncovering the who, how, or why. It's maddening, terrifying, and as much as Liam tries, he can't shake the sense that he's also running out of time. It's hard for him to believe that an embezzlement scheme involving EANC could escalate into an elaborate plot to push him toward medically assisted suicide. No matter how much money is at stake, or how desperate Ellis might be, the idea of tying these events together feels too far-fetched. But Rudy, a brilliant man with AI expertise, a 20-year grudge, and the belief that Liam ruined his life is another story. What's wrong? Andrea's voice breaks the silence. Rudy, Liam mutters, looking over to her. He's still your prime suspect? Isn't he yours? Andrea tilts her head, considering. I've got a gut feeling this is more of an inside job. Liam shakes his head, the idea swirling. What if Transcend's own servers and AI were driving this scheme? That would be the ultimate inside job, but the thought feels paranoid. He wonders if the poison is messing with his mind as well as his body. Alright, what if Nellie really is Rudy's mole at Transcend? We know it's possible. Maybe it's time to confront her about that rendezvous with Rudy. I thought you said our best advantage was to keep any potential conspirators in the dark. He sighs. That's true, but I'm not sure how much time I have left. At the next light, Andrea turns to him, her eyes soft but determined. Look how far we've come. We're gonna figure this out. Something in her expression stirs emotions he can't fully grasp. Andrea began as just the PI he hired to confirm Celeste's affair. But now she's become his confidant, his emotional anchor, role Celeste hasn't played in a while. And again, he hasn't really let her. Still, the growing bond with Andrea leaves him uneasy. He's almost relieved when the light turns green, redirecting her focus back to the road. A few minutes later, they pull into the parking lot of a nondescript two-story government building in a gritty industrial zone. They follow signs for the CODIS Crime Lab, where a technician in white coveralls greets them and leads them through a maze of sterile machinery to a small back office. A petite woman in her mid-30s bursts in, all smiles, radiating energy. Dr. Gloria Chow is a stark contrast to her uncle. Where he's formal and reserved, she's casual, her enthusiasm contagious. After shaking their hands, she beams. Dr. Chow is my uncle. I'm just Gloria. Got it? Andrea smiles back. Thanks for seeing us, Gloria. My pleasure. Gloria grins, eyeing Andrea's hair. Love your hair. I wish mine could do that. Careful what you wish for, Andrea says with a laugh. It's a beast to tame. Gloria's eyes twinkle. You two make the cutest couple. Andrea waves her off, her cheeks flushing. No, we're just friends. Friends, huh? Gloria smirks. Got it. Liam clears his throat. I hope we're not imposing. Not at all. This is actually pretty exciting. He frowns. I thought toxicology screens were routine for you. Not that, Gloria laughs, dropping into her chair. The exciting part is that my uncle asked for my help. I finished my Tox fellowship almost 10 years ago, and he's never asked my opinion on anything until now, let alone for a favor, and he's the reason I went into medicine in the first place. Did he explain the situation? Liam asks carefully. Kind of, Gloria frowns. My uncle talks in riddles half the time. Why don't you give me the Netflix trailer version? Liam hesitates, choosing his words carefully. As likable as Gloria seems, he's cautious about revealing too much to anyone. Initially, your uncle thought I had ALS, but with the kidney and liver damage, he now suspects a toxin. Gloria blinks. You think someone's pulling a Putin on you? Liam almost laughs, despite himself. This needs to stay discreet, Gloria. Absolutely, she assures him. No problem. And preferably without using my name in any reports. Gloria grins. Guess who we run the most tests on in this lab? Liam raises a brow, unsure. John Doe, Andrea guesses. Exactly. We handle so many unidentified victims here, you wouldn't believe the volume we process. Especially with this bloody fentanyl epidemic. For paperwork, we'll just make you another John Doe. Liam exhales, relieved. Thank you. No need. I'm gonna hold this over my uncle forever, Gloria jokes. Especially if we find something cool. How long will it take to run? Andrea asks, shifting the conversation back. It depends on what's in your blood and how much of it. We start with GCXGC. GCXGC? Andrea interrupts. Comprehensive two-dimensional gas chromatography. Sorry you asked, huh? Gloria grins. The chromatographer vaporizes the sample and analyzes it in 2 stages, separation and modulation. Seeing their puzzled looks, she adds, okay, think of the chemicals in your blood samples, like a bag of Halloween candy that a kid is trying to identify in the dark after a night of hardcore trick-or-treating. First, she sorts them by size and shape, then by flavor. By the end, she knows pretty well what each candy is. She's also out of candy and has a terrible gut ache, but that's beside the point. GCXGC works kind of the same. And it doesn't identify the toxin? Andrea asks. We'd move on to liquid chromatography mass spectrometry, or LCMS. I've got a whole other fun analogy involving colored beads, but I won't bore you. It basically identifies chemicals based on size, shape, and weight, and it's more sensitive than GCXGC. Interesting, Liam says. Can you give us a rough ETA for the results? I'll give you the family and friends treatment. I'll run the samples myself later today. If GCXGC picks up anything, I should have an answer for you by tomorrow. And if you need to use LC... Andrea stumbles over the acronym. LCMS? That can take longer, up to 72 hours in some cases. If there is a poison, how likely are you to find it? Nothing's perfect, Gloria admits, but my equipment is pretty damn close. Trust me, if there's something in your system, I'll find it, and my uncle had better be impressed. Chapter 34. No mittens today? Sam asks, striding into the office. Liam took his gloves off only moments earlier, but not before spraying down his keyboard and desk with bleach cleaner. He's been careful not to touch anything since. Have a seat, Sam. Sounds serious. Sam drops into the chair. You letting me go, Prez? Ellis is embezzling from us, Liam says bluntly. Sam chuckles. Of course he is. Is he also the guy who's been calling, claiming to be from my bank and demanding my AMX money? Or AMX number? Liam doesn't laugh, he just stares. The smile fades from Sam's face. You're serious. EANC, Liam says simply. Okay, I'll bite. What about it? It's Ellis's company, registered in the British Virgin Islands. Sam's eyes widen. Why the hell would he embezzle money from us and then pay it right back? We're about to find out. We're grilling him? Here? Now? Ramona, too. Why her? Before Liam can answer, his computer chimes and his assistant, Morris, chirps over the speaker. Ramona and Ellis are here, Liam. Send them in. Ramona enters first, wearing a flowing red dress, yellow leggings, and silver hoop earrings, followed by Ellis, looking uncomfortable in his gray power suit. They couldn't look less alike if they tried. The gang's all here, Ellis says with a grin. Except where's Nellie? And why aren't we in the boardroom? Sit, Liam says, his voice cool. That's it for small talk? Ellis asks as he drops into the far seat. Ramona is silent as she takes a seat between the two men. After leaving the crime lab, Liam decided he could safely confront Ramona and Ellis about the missing funds without tipping anyone off that he also knew about the poisoning. But as he meets their curious expressions, he hesitates. Sam takes the decision out of his hands. Offshore number companies, huh? He tisks. They seem shady. And that's relevant how? Ellis asks. Realizing they're committed now, Liam says EANC. Ramona and Ellis share a nervous glance. What about it? Ellis Asher, Nina Cheston. Liam enunciates each letter. EANC. Ellis's grin disappears, and Ramona's face pales. How's your little offshore venture doing lately? Sam leans back in his chair. Heard you had $100 grand windfall last quarter. Ellis holds up a hand. Whoa, I can explain. We're all ears, Sam says, his tone icy. I borrowed against my year-end bonus, Ellis says quickly. I had to. It was a short-term thing. And why is that, E? Sam asks. Did you go all in on the kids' Christmas presents this year? Ellis shakes his head vigorously. My in-laws in Myrtle Beach. Their house got wrecked in the last hurricane. Insurance wasn't going to cover it. They were going to lose everything without a bridge loan. A hurricane, Liam asks, eyebrow raised. I know, right? Ellis groans. I warned them it was insanity to buy near the beach in the hurricane belt, but Nina's dad wouldn't listen. It was his dream. He looks over at Ramona. I paid every cent back, right? Ramona lowers her gaze. He did, she mutters. Sam squints at her. And you signed off on this? Of course not. Ramona's voice is small. He only told me after he'd already transferred the money out of the sales account. And you didn't think to tell us? Sam snaps. Ramona shakes her head slightly, not looking up. I felt bad for Nina and her parents, and Ellis made it seem like a PR nightmare if word got out. You thought we'd leak it? Sam asks. No. But Ellis convinced me if he got fired for financial misconduct before a major launch that it'd turn into a nightmare for Transcend. Ellis nods eagerly. And I paid it back, every cent. This is all on me. For Christ's sake, Sam groans. Liam's left hand begins to twitch, prompting him to fold his arms across his chest to conceal it. Whereabouts in Myrtle Beach, exactly, Ellis? Don't really know, he says with a pained grin. They only retired there a few years back. I've never been. I only ever send Nina there with the kids. Nice folks, her parents, but they're full-on conspiracy theorists. I avoid them like the plague. Liam glares at him. But you'd still embezzle $100 grand for them? Borrow, Ellis insists, and I did it for Nina, not her parents. That's dedication, Liam says, his voice cold. I figured you did it to cover your gambling debts. Ellis freezes, and Ramona slowly looks up, the pallor in her cheeks replaced by a sudden flush. Gambling? She croaks. Liam nods. Our VP of sales here has a bit of a habit. Ellis shifts in his seat as if it has suddenly overheated. No. I mean, sure. I like to play the tables now and again. Who doesn't? But I wouldn't call it an issue. The spasm in Liam's hand subsides, and he unfolds his arms. I know about Tulalip, Ellis. Sam gawks at Liam. What's Tulalip got to do with anything? The resort casino there, Liam says, turning back to Ellis. You left your family on a Sunday night to drive 40 miles and drop tens of thousands of dollars at the blackjack tables. Are you suggesting that's not a problem? That was just one night, Ellis says, his voice now sounding as flustered as he looks. Sam snorts. So this was more of an indoor hurricane, huh, E? Ramona spins on Ellis, her face flushed with rage. You son of a bitch, I lied to Liam. I covered for you, and it was all over a gambling debt? How could you? Ellis looks desperate now, his gaze darting to Liam. Come on, man. Look at how much I've made the company. How much sales have exploded since I joined. Why make a big deal over a 1-month loan? A one-off. Liam locks eyes with him. What else would you do to cover your losses? Ooh, things are heating up. Crazy. Hello, baby girl. Hi, Hayami. Hi, how are ya? What is going on? We are just reading this psychological thriller that has so many layers, like an onion, or a cake, or an ogre, or a parfait. Ugh. Okay. How crazy is this, guys? Yeah, okay, let's start with the toxicology report. Let me just say, that's what I do. That's cool, PSO addict. You're a toxicologist? Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. The author of this book really put some time into it. Like the stuff that he was talking about with AI, or even like all the technology behind it, right? He did his research there. And then it sounds like with this toxicology stuff, he's done his research there too. And neurology. Like the author really, like, as all authors should, but like, you can tell this author really must have spoke to some experts, I think. Or at least made sure his ducks were in a row with all the things he's talking about. In my opinion, allegedly. It just seems like he really covered his bases. That's really cool, PSO Addict. How long have you been doing that? Does it sound... I mean, I'm not an expert, but does it sound like what Gloria was saying is true? Does that sound right? Let's see. I think it is neat that Dr. Chow was like, oh yeah, I do know someone. And he recommended his niece. She sounds like a fun soul, I guess. So that's pretty neat. I do like that. But that chapter was cool. It sounds like they didn't go through the... Like, I am glad that I'm glad the author didn't take the time to be like, they drew his blood. They wiped the spot. They stuck the needle in. And that, like, I actually do appreciate that they left, you know. Who was it that recommended the assisted suicide? Dr. Tim. He found that on his own. That was his own. Like, he did research. But I do really appreciate that the author cuts that part out and is just like, okay, we can infer, right? We can infer that he obviously got those tests done, so now he's just waiting for the results. So I do appreciate that from the author. Do I think Ramona's in on it now? Maybe not. I don't think Ramona's in on it. I'm throwing her out of my suspect list. But do I think Sam could still be on it? I think Sam is in on it. I think Sam and Celeste. I'm getting that feeling. Sam was too excited to like confront Ellis, in my opinion, allegedly. So I'm at the top of my suspect list. Sam, Celeste, Ellis. Perhaps Ellis really is just a gambling addict, right? As far as the killing goes, I think, as like the poisoning, I'm starting to think that maybe these are separate issues, but Ellis for sure obviously was involved with the embezzling. Ramona's clean. I don't think Ellis is poisoning him. I do think Nellie, Celeste, and Sam are involved in the poisoning. It's just a feeling, right? Just a feeling. Or maybe Nellie's not involved with the poisoning, but she's definitely involved with the leak. But Celeste, I'm telling you, she's got to be in on it. She's got to be in on it. And Sam was too happy to shift that attention. I don't know. The verdict's not out on Sam. I'm back and forth, but Celeste for sure. It's always the wife. Anyways, I'm gonna take a quick 5-minute break before I do these last 2 chapters, guys. This is stand up, get water, do what you gotta do, and we're gonna continue with this deeply webbed story. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you guys are still liking it. I am. I'm starting to wish the chapters were a little longer. It's like my 9-year anniversary running a GC. Ooh, that is pretty cool, PSO Addict. That is a pretty neat job. It sounds like it would be fulfilling, I guess. Or I don't know. I think I would be fulfilled doing something like that. Giving people their results. Do you do it for like crime? You don't have to tell me, but I'm just curious. I think medical fields are really, really neat. Like I think I've talked about it before. Before I joined the military, I wanted to be a nurse. GC for coffee. What do you mean? I want to know. I'll look for your description when I get back. Stand up, get water, do what you gotta do. And I will see you here in 5 minutes. Be right back, y'all. Oh, you test caffeine levels. That's neat too. So you can see when people are all wired. See how much they're intaking. Neat. All right, be right back, you guys. Are you testing the coffee itself? Okay, be right back. All right, y'all. We are back. What did you do during the break? Did you stand up? Did you get water? Did you stare off into the void? I want to know. And if you don't want to tell me, totally fine. Oh, hiccups. Keep your secrets. Hello again, BB. Hey, Hayams. Did your 3rd-year stream anniversary pass, Hayami? I feel like it should have passed, right? Or it's coming. Happy 3rd-year stream anniversary, Hayams. If it hasn't already passed, if it did. Yeah, girl, you started in July, didn't you? I swear you did. Am I tripping? Yeah, Hayami. Your 2-year stream anniversary was like a year ago. I'm looking at it. Can I open this without it blaring? I gotta look. Yeah, girl. Happy 3-year stream anniversary. Whose birthday? Oh no. Oh yeah. You're so funny. I miss you, baby girl. I hope you're doing well. Hi, Andrew. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. You have to plan for something after this semester's over. When's your semester over, Hayams? How are you, Andrew? How's it going? You seem chipper. You stared into the void and the void stared back. That's crazy. What kind of pasta are you making, Hayams? 2 more weeks. Hey, are you gonna have some freedom? Put me on your books, Hayami. Put me on your books, Hayami. I miss you. No press, but also a little press. I'm just kidding. We'll talk. Book it. Yeah, I just miss her. You're good, just chilling with your girlfriend while she starts dungeon crawler. La, 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 la. Let me Google what that is. Dungeon. Oh wait, hold on. I have another book opened up. Dungeon Crawler Carl. What is this? Oh, it's a game? No, it's an audiobook. That's cool. I've never heard of such a thing, Andrew. It's a lit RPG. A literary RPG. I don't think I've ever read a book like that. You made some generic Alfredo with tons of seasoning and cheese pasta. I'm coming over, Hayami. I'm coming over with Tupperware. Send me home with some food. I had McDonald's like a bad person. But to be fair, I had pork steak for lunch, so I do make good decisions sometimes, guys. Pork sisig is a Filipino dish, if you don't know. Look it up. It's delish. Just been in a really Filipino mood lately. I come. Yes, Hayami, I hope we can link up soon. I miss you, baby girl, and happy 3-year stream anniversary. Hayami and I started streaming around similar times, and we met very early into both of our streaming debuts and everything. So it's been really cool having her, my homie. She's like my first like close VTuber friend. I had other VTuber friends, but Hayami and I guess got close. Like we talk about real life things, and that's really neat. Food sounds yummy right now. Go eat. Yet and we're in love. I have to figure out what I'm doing. Yes. Did I miss yours, Toast? Yes. Yeah, but that's okay. I thought you might have popped into it, right? I don't think you played games with us, but you popped in, I want to say. So, yup. Before the break, guys, we were reading. We've read 4 chapters. Yeah, I was about to say, I think you were here. I don't think we played games, but I know you popped in, Hayami. I'm a failure of a wife. You ain't no failure. You're a working goyle. You're trying to put bread on our table, even though I told you I would support you and you could totally be my wife. You wrote her a note on the Kudo board. Yeah, you wrote me a note on the Kudo board. I think you were here when I read it too, if I'm not mistaken. I think you heard me crying. Because I can't help myself. Either way, Hayami, you were here in my heart, as you are always. Before the break, we were reading The Deepest Fake. We did 4 chapters. Now, after the break, we're going to finish up these last 2 chapters, and then we're going to wrap this stream up. But do not fret. There's a very, very high chance I will be here again tomorrow. Even if it is brief, we will be here playing. So, what am I going to play, you might ask? Maybe a couple games of Hearthstone. I've had like a good game of Hearthstone recently, so can't wait to show you guys. I really have cut back on how much I play, and truthfully, I've cut back on how much I've been on my phone, and that's been nice. I kind of felt like I was having an issue with doom scrolling, and some days I still have bad days, but I'm really trying to make a more conscious effort to not do that. And like just catch up on chores, organize. Lego sets still aren't built, but that's okay. And I've started playing, I do play games like Mecha Chameleon recreationally, so that's cool. Maybe someday I'll get back into League on the side, but I doubt it. Chores, I know. Nursing school has gone so fast, I thought that was last year. That's okay, baby girl. I'm glad it's going by quick. Better for it to feel like, you know, quick than never ending, right? Slow and boring, that would suck. Sometimes I get the urge to be like, maybe I should go back to school and get my master's. But then I remember, does anybody remember how I was when I was in school? How horrible I would feel, how stressed I would be? So for that reason, I don't think I'm gonna go back. I don't know how to like just barely do it. I only know how to go all in and stress myself out. You're going for your master's? I thought like if I went for my master's, I'd go for something fun, but I don't know. I was a lot more angry then. I was a lot more stressed out. It was hard. It was hard because I am a perfectionist. Start playing WoW again? I don't know. That game is so grindy. It's hard. That's one that I played WoW for a little bit back in 2022. Like I picked it up again, but then I dropped it real quick. Anyways, let's go ahead and get back into these last chew chapters on this Tuesday, and then we will wrap this stream up, my friends, my dears, my lovelies. I know, I hate doing chores, y'all. I hate it so much. I don't even mind, like vacuuming. I'll vacuum all day, every day. Play the new Splatoon with me? I've never even played the original Splatoon or the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV. You know what? I have been seeing that trend. Let me tell you what's on my wish list right now. I just added it. It's like a murder mystery. I like puzzle games. Sort by. I added the mermaid mask on here. That was the newest one that I put. I should look through my friend's thing. What is this? Make good choices? What is this? My friend has a game called Make Good Choices added, and it says it's psychological horror. Choices matter. Maybe I'll play this. This looks kind of fun. It may contain jump scares. Ugh, I don't like that. Play a cozy game that will raise my blood pressure. You mean any game ever to exist? I love having my blood pressure raised over little things. I have a game called Poltergeist Watcher. That looks like it would make me mad. Ooh, they have Prop Hunter. Okay, let me stop looking at this, because I'll just keep looking through their games. You know, forget to read. I haven't looked through La Liste in forever. Anyways, guys, sorry, I'm getting on a whole. I'm gonna stop looking as I keep clicking on things. Let me look at like 2 more things. Stop. Games. I don't know how many people the library is shared with, but he did mention at some point that what do you call it? Other people can add to it. Cause I don't know, he's got a family library with a few friends. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into these last two chapters. Sorry I went on a little squirrel moment there. We're gonna get into it, see where we're at, see if anything comes from him confronting Ellis. Although I can tell you it's already jumping to a different POV, or different person, so. Here we go. Chapter 35. Andrea sits at her kitchen table, the new laptop Liam gave her open, but untouched. Every inch of the tabletop is covered with her handwritten notes, obsessive scrawls filling the space like chaotic maps. Her third cup of coffee sits empty, and she barely registers that she hasn't eaten since breakfast. Hunger is an afterthought. If Max were still around, he'd be teasing her about slipping back into prey mode, as he used to call it whenever she became hyper-focused on a case. But this time, it's different. She's never been this tangled up in a case before, never this emotionally invested in a client. Liam's life is on the line, and she tells herself that's the only reason he's occupying most of her thoughts. Her burner phone vibrates on the cluttered table, and she snatches it up. Liam? I think we cracked a piece of the puzzle, Andrea, he says hurriedly. We? She tries to keep the sting of being excluded out of her voice. Sam and I, he explains. We confronted Ellis and Ramona. And they confessed? Not right away. Ellis flailed like a marlin on a hook, but yeah, eventually. Turns out, he maxed out his credit and borrowed $100,000 from the company's budget to pay off some loan shark. He paid us back with his annual bonus, but he didn't have much of a choice. Ramona would have blown the whistle if he hadn't. More desperate than we thought. He was a wreck by the end, in tears. Did you fire him? I suspended him, on the condition that he starts treatment for his gambling addiction immediately. You're more forgiving than I'd be. He's got 3 kids under 6, Andrea, and honestly, when he's not borrowing from the company, he's actually damn good at his job. Did you ask about the leak? The poisoning? Pointless, Liam sighs. He's been panicking for months. The theft was desperate, sloppy. There's no way he's behind anything more sophisticated. And Ramona? She's too distracted by his mess to be involved in something as complex as doctoring medical records. What about his wife? The hacker? Maybe. But I'm pretty sure Ellis and Ramona are only caught up in the pathetic fraud he dragged her into. Not the rest of it. Sounds right, Andrea says, feeling a pang of disappointment. But it's not a total loss. If it weren't for the discrepancy in the quarterly report, I might have thrown in the towel. Hell, I might already be dead. That's one way of looking at it. Also, Andrea, we've narrowed down our suspect list, which leaves us with Nellie and Rudy. Exactly. We need to focus on them. I already am. Good. Let's touch base later. Liam? Yes? How are you feeling? A pause. I'm fine. How are you? Liam, seriously. He sighs, deeper this time. I don't get it. I'm being so careful. Gloves at work, checking everything I eat or drink, but nothing's helping. My hands burn and tingle like I've just come in from a snowstorm, and I'm getting weaker by the day. We'll get there, she says, trying to inject confidence she doesn't feel. No doubt, he replies, but his voice sounds equally hollow. Talk to you soon. Andrea hangs up, her frustration just twisting into worry. Her thoughts circle back to Rudy, the one person with the intellect and motive to pull off something this elaborate. She sorts through her notes until she finds what she's looking for. Derek Howell, the freelance journalist who broke the New Hampshire deepfake story and wrote the TechCrunch article about Transcend's upcoming Their Story app that went viral. A quick search shows Howell has barely any presence in tech journalism. He's written just 2 articles for TechCrunch, the last one over 2 years ago. Most of his work is self-published on a small blog or his own YouTube channel. How did a guy like that land such a massive scoop? The question gives her an idea. She searches up the names of the LA Times editorial staff members and chooses one at random. Then she tracks down Hal's number and dials it in with her caller ID turned off. Yellow, Hal answers. Hi, is this Derek Howell? Who's this? Derek, my name is Valerie Ford, she says, her voice smooth. I'm an associate editor at the LA Times. Oh. We were really impressed with your piece in TechCrunch. Why, thank you muchly. Andrea grits her teeth. We think their story has real legs, a living, breathing example of the promise and peril of AI. She pauses, testing the water. Hal jumps in, overeager. Abso-freaking-lutely, the whole shebang. We'd love for you to write a piece for us, Andrea says, her voice sliding into a purr. A feature op-ed for the weekend. I'm in. Great. How soon can you get 1,500 words together? 2,000 max. 48 hours, he chuckles. 24 if I don't sleep. That's perfect, Andrea says. I assume you still have access to your source. Of course. We'd like to chat with them too. How's energy dips? For an op-ed? Legal insists on fact-checking. Usual due diligence. The line goes quiet. Speaking of due diligence, it's Valerie Ford, right? With an E? Her heart sinks. Yup. Tell you what, Valerie. How about you send me an email from the Times domain with your contact info, and I'll get right back to you. Defeated, Andrea hangs up, resisting the urge to smash the phone on the desk. She curses herself for pushing too soon, but the damage is done. She turns back to her laptop, searching for Hal's name alongside Nellie Cortez's. Nothing. Then she tries Hal and Rudy. Jackpot! A recent YouTube interview between Hal and Rudy pops up as the first hit. Her chest tightens when her eyes land on the date it was posted, 4 days before Hal broke the New Hampshire deepfake story. Chapter 36. Liam sits at one end of the sectional, while Cole lounges on the other, feet propped on the chaise. Cole is glued to the soccer game on the big screen, a Premier League match recorded over the weekend, but Liam's mind is elsewhere. He can't stop thinking about the conversation he had with Andrea an hour earlier. Rudy leaked the story, she blurted the moment he answered the phone. How do you know? Liam asked. I traced him to the reporter who broke it. Her explanation made sense. Rudy must have been the one to orchestrate the expose on Transcend's involvement in the New Hampshire deepfake. It probably wouldn't stand up as proof in a court of law, but it was enough to convince Liam. Why Hal, though? He asked. Doesn't seem like much of a heavyweight. Maybe that was the point. Find a relative nobody to release the story, then let bigger voices pick it up and amplify it. It gave Rudy more control. He probably hoped Hal would publish it on a lesser-known site than TechCrunch, so Hal could be totally lost in the background. Makes sense. So Nellie gave Rudy the inside scoop on their story. Maybe even helped set up the deepfake. And then Rudy leaked it to Hal to undermine public confidence in the company? If I've got Rudy figured out at all, he did it to hurt you. Yeah, probably. And how does all this tie into my poisoning? Whoa, slow down. One step at a time, Andrea said with a laugh. Look how far we've come in just a few days. We've solved the mystery of the missing funds and find out who's sabotaging Transcend. We still don't know if Nellie's involved. Then why was Rudy in her home? He went there after the story had already leaked, but okay. Let's assume it's exactly as you've laid it out. Nellie and Rudy working together to undermine their story and me. Yes, let's. And why would Rudy need to also poison me? Maybe he wanted to hit you from every angle, to take your money and your health. Cole's frustrated cry snaps Liam out of his thoughts. Oh, come on, Cole moans. Liverpool's corner kicks are garbage. They're definitely off today, Liam agrees, but he barely registers the game. Cole turns away from the TV. Speaking of being off, Dad, what's going on with you? Nothing. Why? How clueless do you think we are? Liam shifts uncomfortably. Look, maybe I haven't been myself, but this is one of the most stressful times in my career. This new app, not the app again, Dad. None of us are buying it. Buying what? Liam tries to sound indignant. The way you blame their story for everything wrong with you. Cole's voice cracks. It's freaking us out. Liam leans closer. What is? How you drop things all the time? And trip on the stairs? Ava told me you could barely climb up a wall meant for toddlers. Not exactly for toddlers. You know what I mean, Dad. We all know something is wrong with you. Medically, or whatever. And Mom is losing it. She is? Cole nods. I came home from school yesterday and she was alone in the kitchen, bawling. She says she knows you're sick, but you keep lying to her about what the doctors are telling you. Why hasn't she told me any of this? Cole's eyes lock onto his father's. The doctor didn't really say it's all from stress, did he? Liam knows he can't lie. He shakes his head. What's happening, Dad? The doctors don't know for certain yet, Liam says, sticking to the truth without revealing all of it. You're not just saying that? I swear, Cole. When will they know? Soon. They're waiting on a few more tests. There's nothing they can do while they wait? No drugs or anything? No. You have to tell Mom and Ava. I will. Liam promises, the weight of his son's concern mixing with pride in him for standing up for the family. Okay. Cole turns back to the screen. Now, if only Liverpool could land a pass. They sit in silence, watching the uneventful game. Liam's guilt gnaws at him. He's been keeping his family in the dark for too long. As he contemplates going upstairs to come clean with Celeste, his burner phone buzzes in his pocket. I have to take this, he says to Cole, focusing on getting off the couch without stumbling. Hi. Hang on a moment, Liam says into the phone, walking out of the home theater and into the laundry room. Okay. I can talk now. Andrea. Oh, Andrea, comes Gloria Chow's familiar voice, light with amusement. Your friend, right? Gloria. I didn't expect to hear from you so soon. Based on your results, Liam, I think you'd better get used to surprises. His breath catches. You found something? Oh yeah, something I've never seen before. What is it? Nitrils. Tons of them. Specifically, aminodipropionitrile, or IDPN, if you want to impress the chemistry crowd. Liam's heart pounds. What is that? IDPN is mainly used as a solvent in making dyes and pesticides. But you know where we don't ever see it? In people's bloods. Ding ding ding, Gloria laughs. And you didn't just have a trace. The machine basically went off like lights and sirens as soon as I loaded the sample in. Though Liam was already convinced he was being poisoned, the confirmation hits him like a rockfall. Thank you, Gloria. No one would have found it if you hadn't gone looking. Any competent toxicology lab would have detected it, but outpatient clinics? Hospitals? Yeah. Almost none of them have the necessary equipment. So unless my uncle or a coroner asked for forensic testing, no one would have known. And my levels? How would they get that high? Nitrous can be ingested, inhaled, or absorbed through the skin, but skin exposure? No way you could have absorbed that much. So either I swallowed it or breathed it in? One or the other, without a doubt. Liam's mind reels. It couldn't have been accidental, could it? Gloria howls with laughter. Not unless you routinely take dips in vats of dye or pesticide. And that is the end of chapter 36. We have our poison, and I am tripling down on it being Celeste. She is always giving him smoothies. There's just no way, because she is the source of something he drinks all the time. There's just no way. There's no way it's not Celeste, right? Like, come on, guys. Be for real with me. You're thinking it too. Ugh. Good on the son for trying to pressure his dad, but at the same time, like, Cole, shut up. You're gonna ruin the element of surprise. Maybe Celeste is crying not because she's like, oh man, I'm so worried about him. She's probably crying because she feels guilty. Guilty. I'm the problem, it's me. I'm telling you guys, I am quadrupling down on Celeste. I don't know what I'm gonna place as a wager, but If it ends up being that AI is the one also tampering with it, that's gonna bother me. But I am convinced, without a doubt, that Celeste is involved. Rudy leaking it to the company or to Howell, I do think like I think the company tanking, the embezzling, and his poisoning are for the most part like separate, right? But maybe, just maybe, Celeste poisoning him is because she talked to Nelly about the app. So she's like, hey, I don't want him to release this app. He's gonna do it. We gotta get rid of him. And Nelly decides to get with Rudy to help, you know, do it. Maybe Nelly's not down with the poisoning, but she's at least down with the company going down and the app not being released. Does that make sense? I know what I'm trying to say, but maybe it's not as eloquent. I don't think like everybody is directly in cahoots with everybody. I think maybe Ellie and Celeste are in cahoots with like the app going down, but I just feel like the poisoning thing is its own thing. Does that make sense? Like I don't think Nelly and Rudy know about him being poisoned. I think this is Celeste acting on her own because she just doesn't want any more AI tech being developed. Or maybe she just doesn't like him anymore. Or maybe so many other things, I don't know. But I do think the poisoning could be its own standalone deal, you know? I think Nelly just wants the app taken down, and I think Rudy just wants to hurt Liam. I don't think they want him dead. I think that's Celeste exclusive. And that is Toasty's take on where we're at in this book. I hope you guys enjoyed these 6 chapters, right? We're a little over halfway through the book and just trucking it along. But all good things must come to an end. Unfortunately, this stream is not immune to it. You're probably wondering, well, Toast, when are you going to be here again? And do not fret, my sweets. I shall be here again tomorrow, unless I get sick, but I don't feel sick. I'll be here again tomorrow night around 7:30-ish p.m. CST. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I don't really know yet. Obviously, the wife isn't on it because they are setting up the PI as the love interest. They are setting up the PI as the love interest too. Like, she has to be taken out. So I'll be here again tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to do. It'll be in the evening because I have therapy after work. So know that you're not going to see like a surprise midday stream. I don't know. We'll just play for a little bit because I will also be here Sunday, right? We'll be here Sunday to read. Thank you for the stream. Thank you guys so much for being here with me. I know these streams aren't like the most exciting, but I do hope you're still enjoying story time because these are my favorites to do. Just because I really like to read and I've been doing a lot less of it. So it's really nice for me to be able to get in on this. You're sorry if you don't make it. It's okay, Yerp. We can hold it down. POP holding it down. Maybe I'll look through these games and we'll try something out. Try something different out. Ooh, maybe I'll play that Make Good Choices game or something scary. But don't bank on it because we all know I hate scary games. But it will be a gaming day and that is the tea. Games. Yes. I'm like sitting here still clicking through these games. Oh, maybe we'll play Bits and Bobs. I never finished it, right? And I bought it. So yeah, let's lock that in. I'll probably be playing Bits and Bobs tomorrow. It's hate plus to add it, but technically I said I hate horror games, not I hate this game. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night and a wonderful rest of your week if I don't see you again, but I sure hope I do. Tomorrow will be a music gaming day with Bits and Bobs. Good night and stay sweet, everyone. Bye, y'all.